want to thank you all for joining us. Now, what we're going to do is show you how you can, as an entrepreneur, really understand some basic principles about marketing, about publicity, and about content creation so that you can utilize these principles in the most simplest form for your business, and you can create the structure that you need so that when you bring on a team, then that team is moving to the music that you have already set up, right? You did if you come in, if somebody come in and start playing the flute, then the flute got to play with the band that's already in place, right? And play the music, the tones that the conductor has already set forth. So we want to make sure that you can always be the conductor of your marketing plan. And when you bring people on to help, that they do just that. They fall in and are able to use their talents and skills and gifts to help amplify the strategies and the plans that you already have in place. Now, if I spoke in military terms, right, we could say that there's a battle going on for the hearts and minds of your consumer. And your competition is pulling out all the stops, right, to make sure that their message and their desires are first and foremost in the minds of your consumer. And as my man, David Meerman Scott, he's the author of a book, a couple of books about this new age of marketing and publicity and promotion that we're in, that it's been a long time that many of us only had the choice of paying for expensive ads, or the choice was to buy beg for, some media coverage, some media opportunities, right? So you, in this battle, right, that we have, you want to make sure that you don't give up any ground, right? Or like they say sometimes, leave money on the table when it comes to the things and the opportunities that you have to really market and promote your business. It is absolutely necessary that you have as much information and skill set as possible so that you can move in the moment when you need to move in the moment. Think of it like someone who is practicing and learning martial arts. They're in the dojo. They're learning punches. They're learning blocks. They're learning kicks, and all of those things individually are somewhat simple to learn the mechanics of it. It may take time to master them, but the mechanics, you understand them pretty fast, right? But then you have to put together a combination of moves, and you have to do them enough times so that you can start doing it without thinking. So I'm gonna give y'all some basic tools and tips that you can use to kind of move and operate and take advantage of moments. All right. So who is this for? It's for those who know that they can make a difference in their marketing. It's those who know that they can figure it out. They just need some help doing it. This is for webinar for those who want to take full responsibility for their marketing and publicity efforts. And so if that's you, I want y'all to keep hanging with us. Very briefly, I'm going to tell you all a little bit about myself, and then we're going to go right into the core of this. Some of you all know me. I'm a content marketing strategist. I'm a realtor, and I am a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Right. I'm the founder of Bean Soup Times, Black Chicago East, and the Taste of Black Chicago. And I'm on a mission to help build generational wealth in our community through real estate and self-improvement and entrepreneurship. So I'm going to give you a little bit more background, brothers and sisters, as I talk to you. I just want you to just enjoy some of the images that we're putting up on the screen. So as I mentioned, founder of the Taste of Black Chicago, we had an event. We brought over 12,000 people out to an outdoor food festival only in this second year, right? I am by profession I have been a grade school teacher. I've been a journalist, and I still am a journalist. I'm working on 2 articles right now. I am a content creator, right? And I have worked as a communications director for Congressman, a senior member of the United States Congress, and I've done it for a national nonprofit organization as well as a national labor union, right? And it was in these areas, brothers and sisters, that I was able to learn so much about marketing, about communications, about strategy. And I want to bring some of those things home to the community so that we can use these to build our businesses. So from news writing and blog writing to public speaking, media outreach, content creation, spokesperson training, event planning, graphic design, project management, proofreading and copy editing, strategic communications. But hey, we've done some of it all. And these images I'm showing you is examples of products that we've created. Most of them myself, or it was somebody on my team that did them. We have published 3 books, 2 history books and a children's book. And not only have we gotten people media coverage, but I have been the focus of media coverage. Right here I am on Windy City Live, Fox, WCIU. Man, they got me with Leon Rogers. Man, we've been able to do things that has gotten some major media coverage. So we've hosted our own show, our own podcast, and there you see me interviewing our sister Halle Berry. Now, brothers and sisters, these things that I'm showing you, some Windy City Live images, is not to, as my brother Ro Davis says, it's not to impress you, but it's just to impress upon you that we've been able to do a few things that give us a certain level of perspective and skill sets that we think can help you to build your business. Now, I started Bean Soup Times, which is now Bean Soup Media that produces Bean Soup Times 20 years ago. And over the years, I've worked with several hundred, it may be close to 1,000 businesses in some form or fashion. Like I said, creating some of their marketing materials, helping them get publicity, helping them with strategy and planning, all of that. And so, brothers and sisters, these, how can I say it? These opportunities that we have never been more real than they are right now, right? 15 years ago, 20 years ago, the opportunities were, like I mentioned earlier, man, paying expensive ads or begging reporters to get in the news. And we still want to do some of that, but we have some other tools that we can use as well. Now, just to make sure, because you saw a little bit about my publicity and marketing stuff. I want to make sure y'all know that, you know, we can get down right and get some viral content out there as well. This was a post we did. You see it got 3,100 comments, 28.4 shares. I just did a post a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, 391 comments and 27 shares. And it was just no image or anything on there, really, just a few words, but you see what those words are. Got a lot of attention. This one, 139 comments, 911 shares. And then we talked about Sean Michelle's coming to the South Suburbs, 27 comments, 95 shares. So we're focused on Black excellence, strong communities, and militant passion. I'm going to kind of move through this a little bit faster because I want to get to this meat, which is what you came here for. Now, brothers and sisters, you all may have heard the term business is warfare. It's a comment, or a quote rather, that I learned from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan during the lecture he gave in Tennessee under that same title, business is warfare. And if we don't understand how we have to be strategic and how we have to use the tools that we have as best as we can and as definite as we can, then hopefully we're going to give you a few things that it's going to help. And I only say this, brothers and sisters, because we're talking with so many business owners over the years, listening to them talk about their brand, their vision, their goals, their plans. Many of them don't have a vision, don't have any solid marketing goals. They may have a business plan, but they don't have a marketing plan. And your marketing plan is what helps drive your business plans. It helps bring your business plans into fruition. So, what we're going to talk about is some core things that you're going to be able to use to build your business and win the marketing battles that you're facing right now. Yeah, wait a minute, this way. Let's go that way. All right. What we're going to talk about: marketing, defined, your ideal client, messaging, publicity, content, creation, and then strategy. Now, let's talk about marketing first. Okay. There's a bunch of different definitions out there of what marketing is. And they all kind of make sense, but sometimes they only make sense if you went to college and got a degree in marketing. There's so much jargon being used. So what we're going to do is we're going to break things down in very simplistic terms so that you can think with it better. And I'm going to show you how it really is already part of how you think. You just haven't tapped into it. So marketing, redefine marketing according to this guy I know. I mean, he's a white guy, John Jantsch. He's an author of Duct Tape Marketing. And he says that marketing is getting someone who has a need to know, like, and trust you, buy from you, and refer other people to you. Now, out of all the things I've studied and read and learned, this one right here is the most brilliant definition of marketing that I've read. This definition leads to the ultimate goal of every successful business, which is to attract long-term repeat customers. Now, to be successful, you need to take your product from being unknown to being well-known and well thought of. That's what happens when people know, like, and trust you. And let me tell you, brothers and sisters, people, Black people included, buy from people that we know, like, and trust as long as we have a choice. Our goal is to make sure that we give them our choice. Now, this process to go from unknown to purchasing a product could take 60 seconds. It could take 60 days. It could take 6 years. It depends on how well refined your marketing process is and also what the product is. Of course, if you're selling boats or houses, there may be a long stretch in between getting that repeat customer. But if you stick with them through the long run, then you'll be right there when they're ready to purchase again. So now this is where your social media, your website, your text message, your media coverage, all of that will line up in order for you to be able to do things in a systematic and a scientific way. Now, here's the first thing that you got to understand. Your ideal customer, right? Once you understand what you have to do, know, like, trust, buy, refer, the next thing that you have to do is get in good communication with that ideal client. Now, that ideal client, and let's say this, if you are in business already and you have customers, ask yourself, do you know who your ideal client is? And if you don't, I'm going to tell you a formula. And maybe you think you do, but maybe the formula is not right. Your ideal client, brothers and sisters, is the client that pays and buys from you often. And it could be the one that pays the most. And they refer other people. I'm going to say that one more time. Your ideal client is the one who not only buys from you repeatedly, but they refer other people. Now, your goal is to reproduce that ideal client over and over and over again. If you duplicate the person who buys from you often and refers other people, man, you're going to be in business, brothers and sisters, for a long time. So once you identify your ideal client, once you understand what marketing is, now you have to determine what are you going to say to them. This is where this PSA, if you will, that I learned a long time ago, is the messaging formula for success. Every business owner, every entrepreneur, to be successful has to provide a solution to a problem, right? We've heard that before. I'm sure you have. What you're doing in your business right now is you're providing a solution to a problem. So you want to be able to communicate to them what that problem is. You want to make sure that they understand that you understand and y'all on the same page about what the problem is. And then you want to offer your solution. Now, after you offer your solution, you want to have a call to action. You have to tell them what they're going to do, right? So problem, solution, action. You may not always put them in the same order depending upon the marketing strategy that you have and where you're communicating it. But ultimately, it's got to be those three things to move somebody to action. Now, we talked a little bit, of course, already now about what marketing is, who your ideal client is, and what you need to be saying to them. Now let's talk about publicity. When it comes to publicity, there are some key benefits, brothers and sisters, that you got to understand that will help you to understand why you need to do it as much as possible. Media coverage builds credibility. Media coverage helps you reach your goals. Media coverage helps you develop leaders in your organization, in your business. And you can do it yourself. It's cost effective and it pre-qualifies potential clients, and it also increases sales. Those are some of the core benefits of publicity. Now, I'm going to tell you something that I learned when I was in college, learning the principles of journalism. And these are the things that reporters look for when they are developing or writing news stories, when they want to determine if something is newsworthy, right? You want to act like an entrepreneur, but think like a reporter. Yeah, I G'd that from Steve Harvey. Act like a woman, think like a man, act like an entrepreneur, think like a reporter, right? When you want to get publicity, you have to know some of the things that they look for that are what we call news hooks, right? New announcements, right? How many times you saw something on the news that was a new announcement? You want to make sure that when you have new announcements in your business, that you are communicating that to media outlets, right? Trends. Anything that something is done more than 2 times, once it hits the 3rd time, it's a trend. Now, if you can see things in your business that you can use to reach out to media, right? Whether it is a new type of clientele, whether it is a new concern or a new problem that clientele is bringing to you, whether it is maybe it's a trend in hiring, right? You know, an uptrend or a downtrend in the type of people who are coming to work from you. You know, if you have 3 people who come in that used to be accountants and now they want to come work in your restaurant, man, that might be a news item because it's a trend of people leaving jobs that maybe they didn't have a passion for to work somewhere that they have a passion for, or work in the industry they have passion for. So, but you look for trends and you have dramatic human interest, right? Now, this is a compelling story that that talks about somebody who's overcome something, somebody who has triumphed over a tragedy, dealt with an amazing ordeal. Sometimes this could be someone in your business. It could be someone that you are servicing. It could be a client, right? But look for possible dramatic human interest opportunities, milestones, anniversaries, and holidays, right? This is another space that you can highlight, right? So how many times you see stories about Valentine's Day or Easter or Christmas, yeah, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, right? They're all type of stories that are created around these holidays. And if you have something that ties into your business, maybe you are a veteran-owned business. It's Women's History Month. Maybe you are a woman-owned business, right? There's different things you can use, and if you're thinking about it ahead of time, you can take advantage of it, right? Milestones in your business. You sold your 100,000 doll, or you've served 26,000 new customers, whatever it is, right? Think about ways you can highlight that. Then you got controversy. Now, of course, we know that, that's always something that's going to, all over us, regular news, internet, right? We love controversy, good or bad, it sells. So you want to use that strategically, but if it's something that you're passionate about or something that's important to you, that's the opportunity to use that controversy, right? You have different business owners who seem to enjoy controversy, and it helps get them publicity and exposure. Celebrity, right? If you got a celebrity connection, or if you can build a relationship and get a celebrity to do something with you, a toy drive or a food giveaway or something like that, then of course that's going to get you some media coverage. Profiles on personnel, right? Maybe you have some amazing people in your business that you can highlight. You can tell the media about them, right? Special events, right? Of course, if you're doing, you're doing something out in front of your business. We've seen it plenty of times where people are doing festivals and different things, toy giveaways, all those things that help bring attention to your business and can get you some exposure, right? Then you have respond and react. Maybe you're in a place where politically, and I think I know somebody that's tuned in. I know he's very versed in this. There's something happening in the political arena, and you have you can give an educated comment on it. You have some background and experience. Then reporters and media outlets are going to be calling you to get your opinion on this. So if you're in the food industry, maybe there's a conversation about the rising cost of food. If you are in the legacy building industry, you're in the financial services industry, you're in the insurance business, then there are opportunities when things happen in the media where someone either benefited from having arrangements for their after their death worked out properly, and then the tragedies and the horror stories when it's not, right? These are all opportunities to respond and react to things that are already in the news. And then sometimes it may be a fresh angle on an old story, right? Sometimes, sometimes some media outlets will even do remember this story. It'd be something that happened 2 years ago, and now there was an update. There's something happened. There was something that transpired. So that gives you a chance to, if you are involved in it or connected to it, it gives you a chance to showcase your business within that fresh angle of that old story. Now, we're going to keep moving. We got a few more minutes. Time is on me. So, but I want to respect your time, but I got to give you these gems right here. Now, 6 steps to free publicity, right? The core, most important tool to use to get publicity is a news release. That news release and sending it out via email. When I first started, we were sending out via fax. And we were laughing at the old timers who had to mail stuff in. So, but yeah, so we fax machines are done. Email is so simple. It doesn't cost you anything. So I want you to take these basic tips on how to put together that news release. And you don't have to be a, a English major. You don't have to be will have a journalist background. As long as you can put together a sentence, a basic sentence structure, and you have these apps and stuff online that you can get it proofread, right? You can reach out to somebody in your family who's a good writer and have them look over it. But the first thing you do is write a compelling headline using a news hook. The news hook is the things we just mentioned, right? All of those tips on how reporters think and how they look for news. Write a compelling headline with one of those hooks in it. Whether it's a trend, it's a new announcement, whatever it is, right? Then your second paragraph, present the basic facts of the angle in this first paragraph, and you want to answer the 5 W's: who, what, when, where, and why. Right? Once you answer those basic 5 things with the angle that you have that is connected to the headline you just wrote, the next thing you do is to put a quote in there. And this is where you can get creative. This is where you can have some fun with it and put a lively quote in there that you think may attract some attention. You use the PSA format in that paragraph, highlighting the problem and offering a solution. Now, after you put the problem and solution in that third paragraph, then you can put the call to action in the fourth paragraph, all the details on how to get in touch with you, what to do, how to RSVP, how to get more information, right? You put all those things in there. And then while we're at it, at the very top, you want to make sure that you put your contact name, your phone number, and for immediate release. Even if you put it in that paragraph, that's bullet point number 4, you still want to make sure that you put it at the top of the news release as well. And then on number 5, you elaborate a little bit more in that third paragraph, and you make sure that you can first, second, third. This is the fourth paragraph, actually, that you can whatever details that you couldn't fit it in the first paragraph, in the second paragraph, because you don't want each paragraph to be too long. We're talking 5, 6 sentences at most. Really, 3 to 4 may be ideal, but don't go more than 6. Definitely more than 6, especially if they're long sentences. You want to keep them as short and succinct as possible. But again, you want to highlight even more the problem, the solution, and possibly even the action. It could be one of those 3 or all 3. And once you have that, you proofread it, send it around to a few people that can proofread it for you, and try as much as you can. If you are in a particular industry, I want you to always think about writing that news release. If your brother-in-law or your sister-in-law or your cousin that has nothing to do with your business, knows nothing about your industry, if you wrote it where they can understand it, then you're on your way to a good news release. What you don't want to do is use jargon and lingo from your industry and from your company, from your business that nobody else understands. That's the first way to lose the reporter. And of course, you won't reach the audience you're trying to reach. Now, sometimes you may have a reporter who actually give you feedback and tell you, but sometimes they won't. They'll just throw it away. And you'll be looking to trying to get them on that next email you send out. Now, of course, you have people who are publicists, You have people who have resources and some of the media contacts. We have a lot of media contacts. But what you could do is you could go to the library, right? You can look up media contacts. And of course, you can find them online. You identify the media outlet, you identify the reporter, and it's never been so easy to find media outlets and reporters now, because pretty much every reporter has an Instagram and a Twitter feed, Twitter, handle. So you can find them like there. You can engage them there. Sometimes you can even send a news release in the DM, right? But you want to try to get their email and build those relationships with them, so that you can consistently send them things, maybe once a month, depending upon what may be going on in your business. You may send out some at certain times, more than that. And I don't want you to get discouraged if they don't respond immediately. But what you're doing is you're getting them to do the same thing that you want a client to do. You're getting that reporter to know, like, and trust you. Ooh, brothers and sisters. See, look, these things are so transferable, right? How you build relationships with reporters is the same way you build them with clients. You build relationships by getting people to know, like, and trust you. Now, I'm going to drop a bomb on you. Do you know this easiest way, how can I say it? People know, like, and trust people who are just like them. I'm going to say that one more time. People know, like, and trust people who are just like them. So when you're trying to communicate to a reporter, you're trying to communicate to the people who are going to be listening to the news report in the public, when you're trying to communicate to your client, that's what you want to look for, commonality. You want to look for the things that you do that you can highlight, and they can say to themselves, reminds me of me, right? That's something I would do, right? That's when you start getting people to know, like, and trust you, when they see that you're just like them. Chicago's big for that. What part of town you from? Where your people from? They from Mississippi, they from Tennessee, right? We always looking for the connections, right? So that's that. Now let's move real quickly to content creation. Now, content creation, brothers and sisters, there's so much information out there, but I found what I think is a very simplistic methodology, or a definition rather, of content creation. Now, what's on the screen, don't worry about that. I'm going to read something different. Content creation is the ability to communicate topics and ideas to your client. You know what? Now I'm gonna read this one. It's actually, I like this one better because I'm looking at something else. I think I do have the best one up here. Content creation is the process of generating topic ideas that appeal to your buyer, creating written or visual content around those ideas, and making that information accessible to your audience as a blog, video, infographic, or other format. Now, if you all are paying attention, that's the same thing really that you do. That's the same core principles of what it takes to market and communicate to your client in any format. And it's definitely the same thing when it comes to publicity. The principle of it. You want to generate topic ideas that appeal to your buyer, right? So that means you got to know who your ideal client is. You got to know as much about them as you possibly can. Once you know the ideal client, the one that pays the most and pays often and refers to other people, you want to zero in and understand who they are and what they do and what makes them click. What music do they like? Do they like house music? Do they like hip hop? Right? Are they a jazz person? Are they, is your client eclectic and has a mixture of all of them? You want to know as much as you can about your customer, because right when you're doing marketing, right, if you're doing a radio ad, you might, depend upon who your ideal client is, you either you want some hip hop sounds in the background or some jazz or some house music. It just all depends, right? So the only thing that really changes is the type of content that you produce, right? And oftentimes your marketing content can be very similar um, in all formats. What you put out to in a news release, the same problem, solution, action, and what you can create in some content, the same problem, solution, action. Now, you can talk about blogs, videos, infographic, or other formats, and these are really just the core simple things that you can use, and there's some tools you can use to do it with a lot more simplicity than you may think. So let's go over this real quick. First of all, content. These are ideas and methods that you can use to create content. First of all, content creation. I mean, curation rather, right? You can curate some content by looking at what's out there, finding news, blogs, information that's already out there that people are consuming, and you can find the things that are related to your topic, your industry, your business, and pull those things together. Now you could just repost them, right? That's a simple and quick way to do it, right? But long term, you want to look at that content, read things in the content, and see what's missing. And then you can do posts that add the missing ingredient, right? You can create content that responds to the questions that people in that blog, that news article, that Instagram post have about the content that wasn't answered. So now it gives you a steady source of ideas of content to create. Then you can take your business and you can look at frequently asked questions. Now, what 10 things in your business do people often ask? What are the 10 frequently asked questions? That's 10 pieces of content right there. Those 10 pieces of content could be a news blog. It could be a video blog, right? It could be a Instagram with an image and a comment post, Facebook post, right? There's many ways that you could drop those 10 questions and the answer on your social media. Then you want the 20 questions that they should be asking, but they don't ask. That's 20 more pieces of content, right, that you can post. Now, here's one more thing that's absolutely amazing, brothers and sisters. Document your journey. Look at what Kanye West people did, Cody and Chike, documenting Kanye West's journey. And they were able to put that into a 7.5-hour documentary that they sold to Netflix, reportedly for $30 million, right? And it was a basic documentary, right? It wasn't, man, you saw that it was almost like a home movie, a homemade movie, a family movie. But the way, of course, the way they edited and put it together and the story they told, it was so compelling and so interesting. You, brothers and sisters, have a story to document. Take pictures of the things that you're doing in business. Don't pass up opportunities to videotape different, milestones in your business, your first sale, your 100th sale, meeting a new vendor, right? Meeting a new business partner, meeting another person to collaborate with. All these things are things you want to document, right? What does your day look like, right? And you can, in a professional way, include some of the challenges as well. Include the misfires or the fears, the tiredness you have, right? Because again, people buy from people that they know, like, and trust. And people know and like trust people who are just like them. So the people that you're providing a solution to the problem are going through things, right? And if they know that you are just like them, right? I mean, look how much Oprah's public stock, if you will, rose when you learn things of the tragedy she went through, right? Being rejected by, I believe, her mother, being sexually assaulted, right? You know, and when you see where she is now, you say, man, but I can relate to her. She's just like me, right? That's what women were saying. And that's why so many women watched her show, right? And men can identify with certain things as well. Being rejected, being invalidated, being turned down, and not told you're not worth, enough. All those things, brothers and sisters. So share some of those things as well. Document your own journey. And even if you don't post what you take, the images and the video you take immediately, when you have those quiet moments at the end of the day, at the end of the week, at the end of the month, you can look through what you have and pick and choose stuff to post that you can share your journey. You see how long it took for Kanye's documentary to get to out. So you don't have to immediately, it doesn't have to always be in real time, is the point I'm making. So I hope that is clear. But I wanted to highlight this. Your marketing strategy and planning now can make more sense when you have your ideal client, when you have your message, when you understand how to use publicity, and when you understand content creation, right? And you see there's some synergy in these things, right? These things create such a powerful synergy that when you use them in unison, it's so blending. Your problem, solution, action, whether you're talking to a client, whether you're talking to the media, whether you're posting on Facebook or Instagram, right? All those things are very similar. And you're speaking to the same person, the same audience member. So I want you all to think about, and I don't know if you all understood this, but it took me a minute to understand. I was always like, man, what's the difference between strategy and planning? But your strategy is the way you're going to do something, right? If you decide that most of your clientele was on TikTok, then your strategy is going to be to create TikTok content that attracts your potential customers, right? So, but now you got to plan that out. So the planning comes in and saying, okay, but first we got to, learn a little bit more about these filters and all these things that come with creating content on TikTok. We want to see what is popular out there, what people are using, and you put a timeline. You got a week to do that, 2 days to do this, and then you start deciding how you're going to start posting, right? You're going to create there's 4 stages really to creating content. First, you got to come up with the idea. Then you have to capture the idea. Then you edit the idea, and then you publish the idea, right? So start with the idea, put it together, capture it, video, take the pictures, write the content, then edit, make sure it's to your liking, that it pushes the message you want to push, and then you post and you schedule those out. That's where the planning comes in. It's the when and where of when you're doing stuff. So, man, that's kind of the conclusion of this piece right here, brothers and sisters.